So Ryan, I'm glad you can give me your side of the story. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience in this situation?
Um, I mean, obviously, everything was my fault. We were on and off at the time. It was the end of summer. Uh, there was a group of girls I used to be friends with who I'm not really friends with anymore. And one of them had a built-up reputation. So under normal circumstances, not typically in my finest moment, there was a little too much alcohol one night. One thing led to another.
So did you know that anything had gone on that night?
I hadn't until a few days later. I started noticing something and went to the doctor. They did all their tests. And a week later, he called me and told me it was positive. Haven't had anything since. Mm-hmm. He said I probably never will, and the first one was brought on by stress.
Right.
So,
what kind of symptoms that first time? Was it pretty bad,
no,
or was
just
it
minor outbreaks that could have just brushed off for something else. Mm-hmm. But one of my other friends had an issue in the past, so I talked to him, and he told me to go see someone.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you went to see a doctor, and then at what point were you and Jessica then back together?
We were talking and hanging out at the time, and then after that happened, I dealt with it differently. I'd like to pretend it didn't happen, and started drinking really heavily. We went out every night, all the weekends were just, it became a blur. I told my friends about it just because, I thought it'd be easier to joke around about it and have everyone know than have everyone just kind of guess. And I don't know. I thought that was the easiest way. So the majority of my friends know now. But yeah, they're definitely. I went to drinking to get away from it, and that went through until about December when I started, stepping back and realizing that it was going downhill fast.
Mm-hmm. What was it like for you when Jessica told you that something was going on with her? That must have been a pretty difficult day.
The whole situation since then isn't really that it happened to me. Mm-hmm. There's not a day that I don't think about it, but it's the fact that I did that to someone else. That's what actually hurts. I can live with myself, but doing that to other people and changing their lives, that's the hardest part. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I confronted the person I knew it came from, because that's the only one outside of her. And that other girl had a boyfriend at the time and wasn't looking to destroy her relationship, which he ended up finding out anyway, so it happened. But she denied everything, and her friends all knew that it happened and that she had something and hadn't told me that night when we were all there. And then the following months later, for the next 2 weeks, they were supportive of me. They're like, we're really sorry. We know, we should have done things differently that night. And then slowly they all went into denial mode, and they said it never happened. So it's really just me and the few of my guy friends that were there that, it is what it is. The tests prove otherwise, but, people deal with it their own way. When things like that happen, everyone wants to point fingers and blame everyone else, but push comes to shove, you were there, I'm upset with myself. It's my life, I'm in charge of it, so there's no one really to blame but me.
What do you think is important for students to know?
It's out there more than anyone realizes or wants to admit. A lot of my friends take pride in, getting their numbers as high as they can with questionable girls. I guess that's kind of what college has become these days. And, a lot of them are starting to realize that they might, to themselves, have something, even if it's minor, it's still there. It's just a reality check. And when someone, when 15 of my close friends realize that it can happen to one of their boys, then they start thinking it could happen to them.